And I reached Gul around 2:30, and as soon as I reached there, I was welcomed by police, because Gul is not the place where you actually the travelers go there. There's nothing for travelers in Gul in that small village. And it took me almost 1.5 hours to explain them that I'm not harmful for this place, because that place was actually known for terrorist hideouts.
Welcome to Intensify Humanity podcast. We bring the stories of ordinary human beings with extraordinary journeys. They have been grinded through life in terms of extreme challenges, guilt, shame, and things people cannot even imagine, all because they made a choice or decision in life. They are literally not just inspiring, but intensifying humanity through unconventional ways to such an extent that other human beings are inspired and pushed to live to their highest potential in life. I, Somdutta Sarkar, your host today, will bring about the story of one such human being. I hope you find this episode inspirational. Today, we have among us a human being who ran away from home when young, who went against the family and society to marry the love of his life from a different religion, who gave up a career working in a job to build his own business, who robbed his little son's piggy bank when he was broke just to realize that the burden of those few coins was the heaviest in his entire life. A human being who travels like a wanderer and never takes a step back to trust a stranger at the strangest of places, who shares his story and teaches the world the power of storytelling. A human being who is intensifying humanity through his contribution to the society and, in bigger picture, the world. Some of his major achievements include being the TEDx speaker for 9 times, co-founder and CEO of Tekaiser Tech Solutions, which is among top 20 M-Health companies as per CIO review, and also the winner of Digital Health Innovator of the year 2018. Speaker for numerous stages like IIT, IIM, top institutions and corporates. He and his wife have also been recognized by Economic Times as promising entrepreneurs of India. He is none other than Praveen Wadalkar. Welcome, Praveen, to Intensify Humanity podcast.
Thank you very much, Soman. I think I must tell you honestly, for the first time, I'm hearing so much about me. But thank you very much for taking all these efforts, collecting this information. And I think this kind of information, whenever we hear from someone else, it really encourages a lot. Thanks.
Praveen, let me ask you the first question. How do you start your day to get that energy for the entire day ahead for a busy person like you?
Okay, so I'm not the guy who has a very standard pattern of starting the days. So I'm not a guy who will wake up at 6 a.m. every time or have a fixed alarm. But I live in phases. For example, there are a few months, if I have to give a very precise example, in case when I do online courses or when I develop my own online course on something else, or maybe on communication or maybe on storytelling, if I'm doing that for a month, so in that month, every day I will get up at 6 a.m. in the morning, and then I spend time with me, and then I know that I have to record now something. So for that particular month, my routine is designed to achieve the goal of that month. Or maybe after that, I'm doing some research. Maybe after that 1 month, I'm doing some research. Maybe I've enrolled for some online course. I'm doing studying. So I'm a guy who will study in the night. So I might spend 3 a.m. I might spend 4 a.m. At that time I will sleep and I get up late. So to be precise to your question, that how I start my day. Ideally, I want to start my day every day early in the morning. But unfortunately, the kind of lifestyle I have, I decide the goal. And that goal decides how I will start my day.
Were you always this kind of a person? What was your childhood like and how did you become this established person like you are today?
My childhood. Now, the biggest challenge for a storyteller is this: because we are a storyteller, we always go back on the memory lane. And now we are learning the techniques of finding memories and converting those memories into stories. I have so many memories from my childhood. So many. The first memory is, when I was 2 years in second standard, and my dad was in army, and I don't remember any memory before this in my life. No, we all have that memory, which is the first memory. Now, if you're a storyteller, you actually take efforts in going back. Otherwise, normally we all live in present or in future. We don't go back in the past. I don't know why people don't like going back in the past. There's so many learnings in the past we have. I think it's our responsibility to learn from those learnings. So there's a difference between living in the past and learning from the past. So that is the first memory when I was in second standard, and my dad, someone knocked the door. I was sitting inside the room, me and my brother, and my mom was cooking food. We were in a small room, a rented room, and someone knocked the door, and my mama got up and she opened the door, and I saw one army man, around 6 feet tall, dark army man with a big rifle. And he just sat beside me. He kept the rifle beside me, and I touched the rifle first. Right? And this is the first memory. My dad sitting beside me with the rifle, right? And uh, my childhood. The reason I'm sharing this with you, because whenever I share about my childhood, this is the first memory come in my mind. But there are many things about my childhood, and I strongly believe that wherever we are in our life, our current, no matter where you are in your life, but your current status is highly influenced. Your current behavior is highly influenced by your childhood. Sometimes we don't acknowledge that fact, but that is the fact that your childhood has played a very important, or is playing a very important role in your current attitude or current behavior. Unfortunately, my childhood was not that great. I will not say, good or bad, but if you compare me and my brother, right, we both were in same school, and if you see me and my brother together, we are completely two different people in looks. Okay. Right? He's fair. He's very chubby. You will never see my cheeks coming out. Right? Never. You will always see dark circles under my eyes. And the reason I asked my mama that why like this, because we both are in same school, and when me and my brother when we used to go together, kids used to laugh, hey, black and white TV, black and white TV. Now for a child it's very difficult. Now we are beyond colors, now we are beyond look, but for a child it's very difficult to manage. Now I asked my mother, hey, why I'm like this, and she said that, Praveen, when you were my stomach, we all say, the mother always say that you are in stomach. So when you were in my stomach, your dad was at border. He was in army in those days, and my mama was staying with my grandmother and grandfather, along with 11 brothers and sisters of my dad, and my dad was the only earning member of that family. And my mom said, Praveen, sometimes I used to cry even for a half cup of milk. And I born underweight, right? I born with a very weak muscle, weak bones. And because of this, but if you see my brother, when my brother was in her stomach, she was with my dad in army quarters. And in army quarters, everything is in abundance. It's like along with your veg, non-veg, dry foods and this and that, and everything was in abundance. So he got very good nourishment. But because of this, almost for 10 years, when me and my brother were in the same school, almost for 10 years, whenever I used to sit along with students, I always had that fear in my mind, hey, what if they start laughing at me now? Now you can understand that fear. So my childhood was completely under that fear, that what if people laugh at me? So that is one strong memory of childhood, which I should use as an answer to your question. What was my childhood was.
What made you come here? You had some kind of strong emotion or goal in life that you wanted to become this established person from that kind of childhood?
If you see my first TEDx talk, I have explained that in that TEDx talk also, that how long you are going to live with that fear. We all have fears, right? But how long? It's like we are not going to visit this planet again. So if you're not going to visit this planet again, then if whole life, if your decisions, if your behavior is decided by people, then you're not going to enjoy your life. Because after school, when I entered in college, I thought, okay, now school is done. My brother is not there with me now, right? They don't know me. Now I'm a different individual. And I thought the problem is solved. But then there were different problems, like when I fall in love with a girl, was not with my same caste. Again, my mama said that what people will laugh. When I found my first job, I thought, what if people come to know that my dad is a rickshaw driver? Because after army, when he got retired from army, there was only one way, because he was third standard pass. And any third standard pass gentleman working in Indian Army for 15, 20 years, when they come back, you don't have many options of job. So he decided to become a rickshaw driver. But when I got a job in one company, I thought, hey, what if people come to know that my dad is a rickshaw driver? They will laugh at me. So just people laughing at you, if that is your major problem, then you are not going to enjoy your life. But then one day I realized that, are people really laughing at me? I understand that kids, like I have a 13 years old child now, we understand they have a different lifestyle. Their whole objective, the only reason my child loves school, because he has a lot of fun there. Study is okay, but he loves to have fun with kids, other students. So I think the childhood is over now. In school and all, okay, kids laugh, but that's okay. Now we are in matured world, and matured world is busy. Once people enter into the school of life, in job, business, these people are busy. I think they are not worried about what you are doing in your life. So that people who are laughing, no one is laughing. Because of something happened in my life for last so many years, when I was in childhood, I had that illusion that people are laughing at me. But people are busy in their life. No one is laughing. And somewhere that laugh I was using as a reason or excuse for not achieving my goals and dreams. So that someone was not outside, that someone was inside me. That inside was laughing at me, and I had that fear. So I thought, forget, let me focus on my goals. No one is laughing at me, and I think the world is busy.
In your first TEDx talk, you took a chair where someone was written, literally. Where did you get that idea from?
There's a huge difference between talking and speaking, right? Now, what we are doing right now is just talking, right? But when we speak, the objective of speaker is to make things simple and easy for audience to digest. So as a professional speaker, and because I'm a student of public speaking now, I understand that I have to use something, maybe a prop, or I have to organize my content in such a way that people understand. And that's the reason I think we decided that, instead of just verbalizing it, let's use the props. And then we use that prop of someone. And if you have seen the entire talk, if you flip that frame, there's a mirror behind it. So at the end, I'm saying that someone is not outside, and I'm showing that mirror to people that someone is inside. Yeah.
Thank you so much for sharing that. Let me ask you, bad events teach us a lot in life. But what is that one good thing in your life where you got a good, valuable lesson to be shared with others?
Yeah, that's a very interesting question, because normally people only ask, hey, tell me what you have learned from your struggle.
Yes.
Of course, struggle, of course, we learn from struggle. What is the best thing which has happened in my life? Let me, go back on memory lane. So the best thing which happened, if I connect the dots, and I repeat this. So best thing which happened, and if I connect the dots from school, when I went to college. Now I've told you that in school I was highly depressed and suppressed person. But when I went to college, there was a college in Nasik. Now all this was happening in Nasik. I went to college, and I was low in confidence, very introvert, could not speak in front of people, shying away from people. Then I made few friends. Almost all were boys. Then, I belong to a city where if you see a boy and girls talking together, it means there is something wrong, right? So we belong to that culture. But then slowly one girl came into that group, and unfortunately that girl was from the same school where I did my schooling. So I thought, hey, now even she will tell everything, the entire my 10-year story to them. But that girl was good. Her name was Pooja. That girl was good. Then one more girl came in our group. So we were a group of 5 people, 2 boys, 2 girls, and I, 5 people. And then one more girl came from Mumbai, right? So I got very surprised that why a girl from Mumbai coming to Nasik and doing education. Later on, I came to know that her parents could not afford her education in Mumbai, and in Nasik they were getting some subsidy in the hostel because they belong to a caste where they have the hostel in Nasik, and they were so she doesn't have to pay anything, something like that. And she came to our group, right? And she was the only girl in my college who used to wear jeans or maybe t-shirt. I was very impressed. But she was beyond my reach. It's like when you see astronauts, no? You see astronauts very good, but beyond her capacity, beyond her reach. For me, she was like that. But she was in our group. And I don't know why, she started liking me. For the first time in my life, someone was liking me, apart from my dad and mom and my brother. Someone was liking me, and I don't know why I don't know why she liked me. And I felt, hey, a guy who was whole entire 10 years when I heard black and white TV, ugly, this and that, a monkey, these kind of good words. As suddenly a girl who is beyond my, even in my wildest dream, I'm not imagining any relationship with that girl. She's liking me. I said, wow. And that has changed my perspective towards life. If you see my schooling, I failed in 9th standard. In 10th, I was in the range of 40-45%. In 11th standard, I was number 1 in my college. One relationship in your life, or if you can do something unknowingly for someone to boost his or her confidence, you never know the degree of impact. That one likability, I'm not even saying love, we fall in love afterwards. But in groups, when people start teasing you, hey, she likes you, and I said, wow. And just to impress her, just to match her expectation, I started studying. And then I was number 1 in college. So what I've learned from this, that sometimes you don't have to take huge efforts to bring some changes in others' life. Sometimes maybe a small effort can change the lives of others. That effort has taken by my wife. Now she is my wife in those days. So to be very precise to your question, that what I've learned from some good memories or good things is this, and just be good with people. Maybe just being good with someone might change someone's life.
Wow. There are so many ways to intensify humanity. You started learning English late in life, at a time when people don't even think of taking up something new, and you were in a job that time. So, from not being able to speak in English to becoming one of the best storytellers in India, how did that happen?
See, when I completed my graduation in pharmacy, and I did my graduation from interior of Maharashtra. There's a place called Loni. Mm-hmm. If you know Shirdi, if you go further interior, 28 kilometers inside, you will find a place called Loni, and there's a rural college of pharmacy. So because I did graduation in interior of Maharashtra, I didn't find any opportunity to improve my communication. After that, I got selected for a company called Cipla. Yes. Right? We all know this is a big pharmaceutical company. And in those days, we had almost 1 month training program. And based upon the training program, they used to tell us that where you will be posted. So I was, because I was already out for 4 years from my home for studying, I thought they will give me Nasik or maybe Pune, which is very close to my. So I still remember that interaction with the training coordinator, and she said, "No, Praveen, you are good, but your language is very village friendly." I said, "What do you mean by village friendly language?" But indirectly I understood that they are sending me to some village. So they sent me to a village called Satara, Karad, Ratnagiri, Chiplun. Now I've spent few months there. There also didn't get any opportunity to improve my communication because it was not required there. I'm not against Hindi, English, Marathi, but when it is not the requirement. Language is a language, it's you have to learn. But if you don't have that requirement of learning that language, why you will spend your time, energy, money, resources in learning that language? So I was okay with my English, with whatever village friendly English and Hindi and Marathi. But I was a little creative in my work, and because of that I got selected for a product management team. When I say selected, they were just testing my ability in product management. There was a vacancy, and this is the first interaction with my boss, right? He was a Bengali, and Bengali people are good in communication, right? And they have some, we used to say that whenever he's speaking in meetings, we should sit with a dictionary, right? This kind of vocabulary. So this was my first interaction with my boss. I was a guy coming from village, again, chicks inside, dark circle. And I saw my boss coming towards me, and he had a big bag in his hand. And he said, Praveen, I asked him first, so going outside, sir? He said, yes. And he said, I'm going to Glasgow. I said, okay, Glasgow, Amravati Jilla. So that was my first interaction, and my boss told me, he was not my direct boss. I used to report to someone else, and he left to Glasgow. But my immediate boss told me that, Praveen, see, he has gone for a month. If you really want to survive, forget thriving. If you want to survive in this city, in this job, you have 1 month, go and join English speaking classes. You have to improve your accent, you have to improve your grammar, you have to improve your vocabulary. So I went to Bandra, and I went there. I still remember there was a girl sitting at the reception. I said, I want to join classes. And she said, what you do? I said, I'm a manager in number one company. And she said, we have 2 courses. One is basic, one is advanced. You should take advanced because this is for executives. All 25, 30 years old people will come here. And this is basic, where 14 years, 15 years old kids will come. I said, I want to go for basic because I don't even remember, forget the name, face of my English teacher. So I joined that basic, and first day some kids were sitting, 14, 15 years old kids sitting beside me. And when we become friends, after a few days, they said, day 1 we thought you will go on the stage and start teaching us, sir. I said, no, I was there to... But then I realized that it's okay, it's absolutely okay. It's like language is a skill. Okay, because of XYZ, I didn't learn that skill. But when it was required, I learned that skill. I must tell you this. So now, because I spend a lot of time with successful people, and we learn a lot. Someone said that you are an average of 5 good people you are surrounded with, right? No, but my learning is that if you are not good, you're not good for you. You're good not for the world also. Because if you are surrounding someone else, if you're not good, see, if you're surrounded by good people, you become good. But if you're surrounded by bad people, so if you're not good, you're not good for the world. But the point I'm making is that fortunately, because now I'm surrounded with some good people, successful people, one of the biggest difference I have observed, successful versus non-successful. Successful people believe that the only reason we have spent those 20-25 years in school and college in learning something which we knew that not going to help us in our life. I'm running an IT company. What biology and chemistry and history is helping me? It's not helping me. But the only reason we spent 25 years in doing that because we learn the toughest of things because we want to learn how to learn. And we learn only one thing 25 years, how to learn, because we know once we come out in the school of life, the only way to survive or thrive here is to learn every day. Right? And that was a time in those years, it was time to learn English. I learned that. Later on I realized that I learn in public speaking, I learned that. So I'm learning. So I think we have to be a learner. We have to keep on finding those things which we have to learn in our life, and then life is good. Take big people. Take Satya Nadella. I was just listening to his interview that day, Satya Nadella. He has enrolled in so many online courses. Why? What is the need for Satya Nadella to learn now? There's the only way to survive on this planet. Keep learning.
From entrepreneurship perspective, let me ask you, being from a pharmaceutical background, what made you start up an IT firm, Tekaiser?
When me and my wife we were in pharma. Together we started this business, and we were in product management team, in marketing team, in pharma, and we could see the world was changing. I'm talking about now year 2010 and 11, where there was a big dot-com boom. World was changing, like Naukri.com, Shadi.com. Everyone was launching .com, and every segment was changing. We were not standing in banks for queue. We were going using ATM. Everything was changing. Ticketing was changing. Entertainment was changing. Pharma was same. Marketing was same. And even we had challenges in pharma marketing. We had challenges. When I was in marketing, later on I had a very good relationship with that Bengali boss, by the way. And the only thing which he appreciated, because he thought, okay, this guy, he understood where is the problem. He's working hard on that problem. And I got very good support from him, because most of my marketing campaigns were tech campaigns. So I used to adopt technology even in my marketing campaigns. But I used to struggle in those days, because there were very few people who were actually providing and understanding our needs. So I thought there's an opportunity. There's an opportunity, because the way world is changing, even pharma should change. And the whole idea, we blended that expertise of our pharma marketing, my inclination towards technology. We thought we can blend this, and then we started this company which is providing a technological support to pharma marketing. So even though we are working for 75 pharma companies, we are working almost in 13 countries now, but our niche is still pharma. We want to use technology for healthcare.
I'm sure you had many challenges in your journey of this entrepreneurship, but what is that one big challenge you faced while starting this startup and you thought that we should give up?
See, Takaiser is not our first business. I was obsessed with .com, right? I wanted to start something .com. So we launched a website called pharmavacancy.com. Now, pharmavacancy.com was a website where people can log in. When I say people, I'm talking about medical representatives and salespeople. They can log in, and after logging in, they can apply for jobs, or they can upload jobs. Managers can upload jobs. So it's a vacancy portal, like we have a Naukri.com, but my niche was pharmavacancy.com. And I had spent all my almost 10 years of earnings and learnings, right? Including my wife, Dolly. So we together quit the job and we started this business, pharmavacancy.com, which doesn't exist now. And almost 20 years of collective learnings and earnings we poured in building this platform. So it took me almost 6 to 7 months to actually convert that idea into a business. I will not say business, into a portal. And we exhausted with all our money, including our PF account, PF, everything, our savings and everything. And the website was ready. And there were only one person who was aware about this website, was me. No one in the world. And we had no idea about marketing also, that how do we market this website. And we were not doing good, and we stopped that business. And there's a reason why we stopped that business. I still remember that incident. My wife came to me, and it was the end of the month, around 29th, 30th. It was a very small office. Now today we have 2 facilities, and if you take any conference room of this facility, it will be smaller than that conference room. And we were looking towards each other, and around 4 to 5 people were sitting. They used to call people for CVs and all. And the only question which we had, very mute question in eyes, that these 4 to 5 people were sitting now, how we are going to give salaries this month. And there was no option of giving salaries. Like, cash flow was poor, understanding of business was poor. And she came to me and she said, Praveen, there is one very important meeting in Bandra, you should go for that meeting. I said, yes, I will go for that meeting. And then after that, my office was, if you go to any society, you will find galas in housing societies. My office was there, very close to my home. So I decided, okay, let me go home and first take my bag. I reached home, and then I realized that I need at least 20 rupees to buy a ticket to go to Bandra, because if you take a local train, we need at least 20 rupees. So I opened the door. Then my son was sitting down there. He was 6 years old. He was sitting down. And I started searching for the 20 rupees in the hall first. Here, there. I didn't get that. Then I went to kitchen. Now, if you know, in India, we keep here, there, in that box, in this box. So I started searching 20 rupees there. I didn't get it. Then I opened the door of my bedroom. And today also, if you come to my bedroom, it is still there. You will see a very small, round, yellow color piggy bank of my 6 years old son. And for a moment, I thought, yes, there is 20 rupees in this bank. And I was standing here where if I can turn this side, I could see my son sitting there. And if I turn this side, I could see that piggy bank. And I slightly closed the door from inside. And that day, I robbed that piggy bank for that 20 rupees. And I had those 20 rupees in my pocket, and was walking, going towards the railway station. And that was one of the heaviest walk I've ever taken in my life, because I thought, I can't go below this now. What else? A father robbing a piggy bank of his own 6 years old son. I can't go below this. Then I had two options that day. One, take a phone and call my boss, because when I was leaving, my boss said, Praveen, you are taking the decision in haste. You are working well. I was working on a multinational company. I left that job when I started this. He said, doors are always open for you. Whenever you think you want to come back, just give me a call. So I thought, let me call my boss and ask him that, is the door still open for me? Or continue this entrepreneurship journey? In the evening, me and my wife were sitting together. We said, this business is going nowhere. It's like we started a .com company where we wanted to have all automation. We thought that thousands of people will come. We are just working like any other recruitment agency. And that day we decided to stop this business. We said, this business is not good. This business is not correct. And that day we accepted that we failed in this business. And there were various reasons of failing in that business. The first reason, because we were first generation entrepreneurs, and first generation entrepreneurs get obsessed with the product. They don't get obsessed with the business dynamics. They don't know what is ROI. They don't know what is operational cost. They don't know that even they have 10 people, the cost of AC and light and tea, they don't count this cost when they actually make an operational cost sheet. And this is the problem of first generation entrepreneurship. But by that time, we had lost everything. Everything. We had sold each and everything, even like fridge, refrigerator, washing machine, to manage the salaries of those people. We had nothing at that point of time. And we said, we failed. We accepted that failure. But then one more thing which we have accepted that day, that failing is okay. If you are not failing in your life, it means you are not doing something which is beyond your capacity. My dad was a rickshaw driver. She came to Nasik just because her dad could not afford her education. So you can understand her level of what financial background. So we thought, it's okay. We failed. We were trying something which is beyond your capacity. But that doesn't mean that we have to take a U-turn. Let's see what we have. And then we realized that our biggest strength is marketing. And we were in marketing. Why we are not starting something which we can provide technology to marketing? And that gave birth to Takaiser. And then we started with one very simple software first. We started giving that option to product managers. They liked it. And then slowly, now we have a team of around 150 people. And we work for more than 75 pharmaceutical companies.
Nowadays, so many startups are coming up, but many fail during the first 4 to 5 years. And since you are so much experienced in this entrepreneurship journey, what is that one message you would like to give to those new startups coming up so that they can stand firm, come what may, in any situation?
See, even as per Oxford survey, more than 95% startups, they fail within 5 years. Now, there are various reasons, right? But one of the most common reasons I have observed is this, that people become obsessed with the product. When we have an idea, right? Idea is nothing but a solution to an irritation or problem. When I was in product management team, I was getting irritated because no vendors were helping me, no tech companies were coming and helping me. That was irritation. I thought, hey, can I solve? If I am getting irritated, it means there's a lot of others who are getting irritated. So let me solve that irritation. Many people, they believe that the idea which they have in their mind is actually solving some problem or irritation, but sometimes that's an illusion. That's an illusion. First, you have to see whether the problem really exists or not. Unless and until you don't first prove that yes, problem exists, irritation is there, that is not a sellable product. But what happens, because you are completely sold out, especially a first generation entrepreneurs or young people, because they believe that this product is such a good and maybe it can change the world, they get obsessed with it. But even if you have the world's best product or world's best solution, if your marketing is not correct, you cannot win. The key is understanding the marketing, and marketing itself is a different subject. So to be very precise to your question, one of the key reasons why people fail in startup is because they don't focus on marketing, they focus only on product. Same thing I did in pharma vacancy also. For 1 year, I've spent entire year on product. But when it comes to marketing, if I launch that website, I will do far better because today I understand the importance of marketing also. But in those days, only product.
Another area of your life is traveling. So you are a hardcore solo traveler. Could you share one experience which has opened your mind like anything and made you realize that yes, you can handle anything in life, come what may?
So I run this web series called Game of Trust, right? And it's a very simple rule that you travel and you meet people, strangers, and you trust them blindly. So I was playing this Game of Trust in Jammu and Kashmir, and I had a talk in IIM Jammu. And after IIM Jammu talk, I thought I should go to a place called Patni Top. Someone told me, someone from a friend, he told me that Patni Top is a good place. So when I was going to Patni Top, now when I travel as a solo traveler and I play this game, if in the middle of the travel, if someone is a stranger suggesting me that you should go there, not there, I will follow, because that's how the Game of Trust is. You just follow strangers blindly. You eat what they give, you go where they want you to go. So I met a guy, and he said, you should go to Gul. Now, Gul, I've never heard this place, Gul. G-O-O-L. And I said, what's there? He said, it's a very good place. And he said, I'm going to Gul. We can go together. He said, how long from here? Now, this is all a conversation with a stranger. He said, it will take at least 7 to 8 hours to reach Gul. Now, a bus which is going to Gul, the same bus is going to Patni Top also. And Patni Top is around 1 to 2 hours away. And this is 7 to 8 hours away. So I said, okay, let's go to Gul. And I don't know what happened, in the middle of the journey, even within half an hour, we still not reached Patni Top. He said, don't come to Gul today, come to Gul tomorrow. And he was speaking in Kashmiri on phone with someone. I thought, what happened now? It's like suddenly the guy was telling me that let's go to Gul, and why he's saying that? I said, okay. So I reached, and then he said that you should get down here so you can go to Patni Top. Now in my Game of Trust, what I do, I take videos of all these key small moments. So if you go on YouTube, you can actually see this video, I and this guy traveling in a bus and I reaching Patni Top. So I reached Patni Top. And in the morning, I had option. One, continue my travel, or go to Gul. And I said, it's a Game of Trust. I have to accept. I have to go to Gul. So in the morning, I decided to go to Gul. And reaching Gul is one of the toughest thing which I can have. One of the toughest roads I've traveled in my life. It's like one slight wrong turn and it's gone. Right? Very tough roads of Himalaya. And I reached Gul around 2:30, and as soon as I reached there, I was welcomed by police, because Gul is not the place where you actually the travelers go there. There's nothing for travelers in Gul in that small village. And it took me almost 1.5 hours to explain them that I'm not harmful for this place, because that place was actually known for terrorist hideouts. So I said, I'm not, just to explain them, no, I'm just traveling here like this. And when I was out from that police, I thought, let me give a call to that person for whom I have come here. And when I called him, he said, hey, good, we have come, but unfortunately there was some family emergency and I had to leave. Right? Now I was alone at Gol. And I started searching for a small stay. And there was no stay because there was no hotel, no guest house. And fortunately I found a place where normally workers live there. If you see in villages, small workers. So I found a place there and I slept till 5:30 I slept and got up at 9:30. And by 9:30 when I came on the road, the video was on. One car came around 9:30, and that is the last thing we should do at that place, going on the road 9:30, was completely silence. No one was there, absolute silence. No one was there on the road, and one car came and he stopped beside me and he said, sit down in the car. Now that particular second was one of the most frightest moment of my life, because I had two options. One, play a game of trust, sit, or second, run from there. But I was playing a game of trust. I have to trust him. So I sat down in the car, right? And the camera was on. So if you see in the YouTube, there's a scene where I'm sitting in the car and you can see actually we are driving. And I asked him, where are we going? He said, sit down, sir, sit down. And he said just something like this. And we reached a tea stall. Now I know the same tea stall when I came in, when I got out from the police station, there's the same tea stall where I had tea. And he said, we reached the tea stall and I could see inside the tea stall was closed from outside, but inside the tea stall, this tea person was sitting there and they were just enjoying party. And we entered inside and he said, actually, in the afternoon when you had tea here, he called me. And he said, there is a stranger, there is a traveler from outside, we don't know where he will stay. Can you accommodate him? He's having tea here. But by the time I came, you were not there. And when I saw you in the night, I can easily say, yeah, this is the guy my friend was talking about. And then we had some good time there, we had party. And this person was the guy who asked me to sit in the car. He's actually from a fire brigade. He took me to his home. And whole 2 days I was with them. In the morning they took me to mountains, and there's a separate video where we had this tea person, this fire brigade guy, and we are sitting in the mountains and we are talking about our philosophies and understanding of life. We had a beautiful time. But imagine I not sitting in that car. Okay. Now there's different ways of taking this. What I strongly believe, whenever I share game of trust, people say that you should not trust blindly like this. See, if you're meeting wrong people, in case if you're going and standing at India-Pakistan border and you say nothing will happen to me, then that's wrong. But if you're meeting normal people, most of the people are like you and me, good people. I don't see any problem trusting strangers unless you are putting yourself in a very wrong situation.
It was one of an intense experience, I must say. The central theme of your videos, your messages have been trust strangers. And I can relate to it since I myself am a solo traveler, and whenever I travel, I connect with people whom I don't know. I go to places which I don't know. In a world which is full of inhibitions about safety, about trusting people, why do you think trust is so important?
I'm also scared in trusting people. I will not say that trusting people for me is very easy. In most of my game of trust, I've played more than 30-35 times now. Most of the time, even for a moment, even I thought, shall I or shall I not? But I'm not talking about just trusting strangers. If you don't have a habit of trusting people, forget strangers, your colleagues. I've seen people colleagues not trusting colleagues, parents not trusting kids, in family, within the families. I've seen that. So when we do something exaggerated in life, right? For example, if you're doing something very exaggerated, for example, when we teach public speaking, we help them to improve their vocal variety, right? In vocal variety, we help them to improve their tone. And in tone, the easiest way to improve tone is to take one line and do exaggerated expression when you are angry, when you are happy, and this. So when you do this exaggerated expression, when you go on the stage, even the average of this is enough to impress people. So even the average of 50% of what you have done exaggerated when you do on the stage, even that is enough to bring that actual tone. Same thing with trust. If you have a habit of trusting strangers, you will not face a problem of trusting your own people in this world. Right? So it's more for me, I think. Because what I strongly believe, if trusting people is risky, those people who believe that trusting is risky, then not trusting people is even more risky. When you don't trust people, you don't build relationship. And when you don't build relationship, it's gone. There's a study in Harvard University, which is the world's longest study on humankind, on human happiness, 75 years long study. And it says, it's not money, it's not fame. Your relationship keep us happy and healthy. But you don't build relationship, if you don't trust people, you can't build relationships only. Right? So I think for me, the trust is more here in your personal and professional life rather than strangers.
Beautiful. And if I can add to it, then it would be like when you trust someone, you level up intensifying humanity because trust is the basis of all relationships. You also sent your little son alone for a trek. Were you not afraid as a father to send him like that? And what age was he at that time?
His first Himalayan trek was Dharwa Top, which is almost 12,000 feet. And he was along with adults. He was the youngest. And there's a long story, not a long, but there's a good story behind it. And because when he was leaving, I was not very confident that he will touch the summit. Because for a 10 years old child, going 12,000 feet was difficult. But he said, Dad, I will do it. And when I came, I remember I going to pick him up from airport, and we were coming back, and I asked him, hey, have you done this trek? He said, yes, Dad, I have done. I asked him, tell me more about it. He said, actually, on 9th day, when we were at the base camp, I got fever. Now, next day morning, they were supposed to go for a peak, and previous night he got fever. So I said, then what you did? He said, I went to my instructor, and my instructor said, see, there are 25 people here, out of which only 7 to 8 people are going to get up in the morning and going for summit. All will be there down. You stay with them, don't worry. We'll go for peak, remaining people will come back, and then we'll go down. And I said, okay, so then what happened next? He said, but I got up 6 a.m. in the morning and I decided to go for summit. I said, why? He said, Dad, one thing which we have learned, I will not say these are the exact words he said, but if I have to put it in correct perspective, he said, one thing which I've learned from this, from Dad and Mom is, if decision made. When we started this journey, it was my decision that I will go for the summit. There's no logic of I playing for a semi-final, winning the semi-final, reaching that, and not playing for final. If the decision was made. I did that. So, but I always tell them, it's like, go meet people, be safe, of course, no problem. But if you're going in the train, don't have that, he's the stranger, I will not speak. Meet people, talk to them. You're always safe. Yes, if you are in a wrong place, just I always give this analogy. It's like if you're standing at India-Pakistan border and you will say, nothing will happen to me. That's a wrong place. But if you're surrounded by good people, what's wrong? Trust people, speak to them. Yeah, I think the first thing parents should stop doing is stop teaching values to kids. You can't teach values to kids. You have to show values.
Through yourself.
Absolutely. And you don't have to tell them, hey, see now, I'm going to show you. You have to just behave. And this is what I've learned from Sachin Tendulkar's mother. Sachin Tendulkar's mother she's very rarely, she goes on the stage. And someone asked his mother, that how this is possible, a millionaire, billionaire, people consider him as a god. And we have heard that even if he meeting a rickshaw driver, he speaks with a lot of respect. What kind of values you have given to him and how you have given that value? And she said in one line that we can't give value. They pick values from family. They just pick value. We can't give them. So you have to just behave. They will automatically pick what they want to pick.
That's profound. What is your favorite book till date?
The Noticer.
What is that one ritual that you follow every day for your well being?
Drinking water.
Till now, you have done so many speaking engagements. Which one is your personal best?
IIT Kharagpur.
Who is your idol or role model?
Dhananjay Tarachi in speaking.
What would Praveen Wadalkar be if not an entrepreneur?
Now that's an interesting question, but first I need to understand the premises of the question, or rather I should agree to the premises of the question. Because what I believe that one thing can't be your life. Entrepreneurship is just one aspect of my life. Professional speaking is one aspect of my life. I love mountains. I'm HMI certified mountaineer. I run half marathon in less than 2 hours. I'm a half marathon runner. So that is one aspect of my life. I love to write books. I've written 3 books. So author is one aspect of my life. I love to train people to improve their stage communication. So mentoring is one aspect of my life. I love my family. So family man is one aspect of my life. One thing can't be your life. What I believe that what I'm trying my best to learn is to live in that moment and enjoy that moment and give your best in that particular moment. Maybe these are just few colors of my life, but one thing can't represent me. One thing can't be everything for me. Hope I've answered your question, by the way.
What specific message you want to give to our listeners?
So the only one message, which according to me is one of the most important, is if you are not failing in your life, then there's something wrong. See, if life is a game, there is no game where you only win. If someone listening to this has never failed, always won, there's something wrong. It means you are not trying something which is beyond your capacity. Because whenever we try something beyond our capacity, we fail. So you have to fail. You have to struggle. If you're not doing that, you might not be doing justice with this visit on this planet. And I'm very sure no one is going to visit this planet again. Right? Number 1. And number 2 is this, which is one of my biggest relief line, that whenever I am in stress, if I face problem or something like this, I say this line to me and I feel so relaxed in a minute. In a second I feel relaxed, and that line is this, that Praveen, don't worry, you're going to die one day. Everything's going to finish. Relax. This is the moment. Give your best. Enjoy. Now, enjoy doesn't mean that you have to go to Goa every time. Enjoy means give your best at that point of time.
I really enjoyed speaking with you, Praveen, and I'm sure our listeners too would have enjoyed the same. Thank you so much for sharing your experiences, your stories with us. Thank you. Thank you for tuning into my show. That was Praveen Wadalkar, someone who saw opportunities in the lowest points in his life, turn them into a dream come true situation, and intensify humanity to the best possible extent. I hope you found this episode inspirational.